the county clerk.
I brought my new deputy, who I think you know.
You knew that.
Relatively.
Did you just get the job?
Just said it again. Good evening.
I want to thank you very much, Nicole, thank you very much for coming this evening. So, why don't you go right into your presentation?
Well, the good news is, as you know, our revenues are up. We are projecting for 2013 a $2 million increase, and to date, as of today, we've already realized $500,000 increase over last year. So we're very confident that we'll make that $2 million increase too, which would be $8 million this year we would be getting, because the recordings of real estate are significantly up. In terms of the budget for 2013, there's a difference, an increase of $379,000. Most of that, $276,000 of that, is in the county clerk's elections. And as you know, we always put a significant amount of money in elections. We don't always use it. Last year we turned back, I believe, 50,000? About 50,000, I think. I'm not sure, BB, but we turned back money. So we have it there. However, I will be honest with you and tell you our costs for elections have gone up for several reasons. As you know, the school boards are now held in the general election in November. We do not get reimbursed by the school boards for that, but it costs us a great deal of money because there's more print on the ballot. And there's more costs involved in printing the ballots, both the machine ballots and the vote by mail ballots. In addition, the Board of Elections purchased new optical scanners for the vote by mail ballots, which affects us drastically because the printing of the ballots is entirely different now. There is a software program that the election people, the election vendor, has proprietary rights to, and is now sharing them with our printer. It's a more complex way of formatting the ballot, and we have to absorb those costs until the vendor hands over and trains everyone. They have started that process because I've insisted upon it, but it's far from complete, and it's a very complex process. So that's an additional cost. Postage has come up, which affects our sample ballots and our vote by mail ballots. Additionally, we put more money in overtime, and unfortunately that's not reflected in my elections budget. It's reflected in my county clerk budget by an addition of $21,000. And the reason is that, I've been told by finance, is that because those staff people are not with an election title, but with a county clerk title, we must pay them out of the county clerk section of the budget. However, they're really working elections overtime. And of course, my election costs were enormous last year because of the hurricanes. We worked for the 5 days before the elections, almost, I'd say 18 hours a day.
No, not almost, you did. I was there, you were there right next to me. 24.
Just to be on the record, your staff as well as the Board of Elections did a tremendous amount of work under very dire circumstances.
Thank you. We did. I think everyone that came to us that wanted to vote actually went away with a ballot.
Absolutely.
If they were eligible for a ballot. I want to add that. So here's the thing about overtime. There is currently legislation that has gone, it's out of the Senate now, that will significantly increase our election overtime because it calls for early voting the 15 or 3 weeks before elections, and we must stay open certain hours, including 8 o'clock at night, all day Saturday and Sunday. So that's like 3 weekends plus those additional night hours has a lot of support in the legislature. We don't know if the governor's going to sign it, but since it's been amended, the governor may sign it because it was much more stringent before that. So we have to consider that.
But there's no, right now in our legislation, there's no funding.
Well,
Or is there?
that's an excellent question. There's supposed to be a fiscal bill on every piece of legislation. I have been told by our County Clerks Association that there's talk about them funding it for 1 year. So what does that mean? You're going to absorb the cost. If it passes, you would absorb the cost on the second year. I don't know. I don't know if that's attached. I really don't feel comfortable speaking to that. But so that's where most of our money is, our increase. The $103,000 of the county clerk's budget is all in salaries, which are contractual amounts. I mentioned the forms. I mentioned the postage. What else? For special elections we have this year, we have Berkeley Heights, where we have a possible hillside runoff and 2 additional special school elections. And there's also legislation, I should tell you, to unmandate the gubernatorial statements that I have to place on the ballot. Every gubernatorial cycle, candidates are allowed a 500-word statement on the sample ballot. So that entails a whole other piece of paper plus English and Spanish, and it's a large cost to print that. So the governor, there's a bill in the legislature, and we don't know if the governor's going to sign it, that basically says as long as you have that information somewhere, like on your website, you don't have to put it on the sample ballot. That will save us money. And that goes through.
Questions from the viewers? Bill Estrada?
Yes, I'm very convinced that the office of county clerk does an outstanding job in many facets, but
Thank you.
I was surprised that no bullets on the passport office here.
Nope.
No bullets on the passport office.
Well, we're
Do you see
actually,
any? I mean, is business up? Are people traveling?
actually, it
Self-funded
was
or-
down a bit. It was down a bit. We try to do some advertising on that because the post office now, statewide, the National Passport Center is reneging on their ability to do passports because those people aren't trained to the significant level they need to be. Union County has hosted 2 statewide passport conferences, and people come to our office, and basically we host the training. Passports are up recently, though. They have gone up recently, but that might be indicative of it being spring, and that people are planning on traveling in the summer. It seems to be more discretionary money out there because I see it in housing. It's really significantly up.
In terms of your revenue projections for the year, I know that you said you were higher than you anticipated.
I forecast at this point, and I'll know better in the first week in April, but it looks like you'll get a $2 million increase from me.
Increase compared to how much previous year?
$6 million last year I gave you. I plan to give you $8 million, unless you let me keep $1 million.
So you were a profit, so then you were a profit center.
Out of order.
You were a
Yes.
profit center.
Yes, we try to be.
Keep up tight at the belt. Okay. Keep tight.
Joanne, do you have any indication of where exactly that activity is coming from in the county? Is it all over, or is it any?
Which activity?
Just
The housing?
Yeah, their housing in terms of.
What I've been told is that the inventory in general is very small and the demand is greater than the inventory, and it seems to be everywhere. I will say this, and just so I prepare you, we do have vacancies, and which we have not filled, but if the volume goes up significantly, I may need another clerk.
How many vacancies do you have at this point?
2, I believe. 2?
So you're saying it
I'm not asking for
increases?
that now.
No.
It has increased, and I've been able, most of my staff is cross-trained, as you know. But, you know, when I have elections, I take the people out of my county clerk's office and train for election and bring them there. So you know, I rob Peter to pay Paul, that something suffers, and we have to get the recordings done within 24 hours by law, so.
How is it that also, isn't a lot of your information for sale in terms of
I don't know,
I-
it's public.
well, it's public, I'm thinking,
Well,
I thought some of the real estate people would come in.
there are title plans out there that Oprah are records. There's also people that download significant data off our website, which we have put a stop to
Right.
because some of this comes from out of the country. We're talking about significant data they download. Then they tie up the website so other people who are just trying to go in and find out if their deed or mortgage can't get in. So we put a stop to that through our consultant from Florida.
We won't go there. Any other questions? All right.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.